Today's review is brought to you in collaboration with our friends over at thedjhookup.com.
What's up, passionate DJs? Now today I'm covering a topic that I've never covered before, which is DJ bags. We're going to talk about the different kinds of bags that are out there, which one might be the right one for you. We're going to talk about Jetpack bags today, and today's video is brought to you by my friends at thedjhookup.com, of course, where you should buy all your DJ gear. They are now carrying these Jetpack bags, and you can order them complete with your own custom logo, just like one of these from thedjhookup.com. So we're going to talk about standing bags, over the shoulder bags, headphones bags like this, roller bags like this, all the different things that you can fit in here and reasons you might choose to pick this one versus one of these. Let's get into it. Now, probably my favorite thing about these Jetpack bags is their custom embroidery service. You get this really high quality stitching on here, this embroidery. I gotta say, guys, it looks really nice. The colors here are vivid and accurate to our logos here. We got the DJ Hookup here with this thin lines, and then all the details of the Passionate DJ logo here. I love it, guys. I'm seriously, like, having a screen printed logo on something is cool, but having something embroidered is just that extra little bit of, just looks cool, right? Now you can actually get one or two logos on any of these bags. Here we've got the Backbeat Marketing here, and then the Pioneer DJ logo up here. But I've got to say, the quality of the stitching, like I said, it's all perfectly readable. It's got this nice little texture to it. It sticks out. The color is great. Getting one of these embroidered logos is easy. Use one of the links below or navigate to thedjhookup.com and find your bag. Select the option to add a logo. After submitting your order, Jetpack will reach out to you directly to complete the customization process. They accept JPEG, PNG, PDF, and vector files, but it's important to note that this is threaded embroidery, not a print. So certain design elements don't really translate well, such as color gradients, shading, glow effects, things like that. So this is meant for submitting simple, flat logo images and not complex photos. Now the DJ Hookup is your man on the inside for DJ gear. They're the highest rated online retailer for DJ hardware, and they made this video possible. So if you're already buying DJ gear, you might want to see if they already have a bundle put together with a Jetpack bag. So while researching this video, I discovered that I could basically divide their bags into 4 categories. Now first, there's the roller bags, such as the Jetpack Drop and Jetpack Glide. Now these are meant to hold larger and heavier DJ gear and can be rolled around like a piece of traveling luggage. Next are standing backpacks, the Jetpack XL, Prime, and Remix. These hold a ton of DJ gear and your laptop. They're larger than a typical backpack, and they have little rubber feet on the bottom so that they stand upright. Then there's your more typical over-the-shoulder backpacks, the Jetpack Slim and Snap. Now these are more the size and shape that you think of when you think of backpack. They're lightweight but tough and designed to carry your laptop, headphones, and other smaller bits. The Snap combines with either of the roller bags to form a complete system. Then finally we have headphones bags. These can also act as a small clutch for various accessories that you might need when DJing. This includes the Deloop Sport, Deluxe, and Audiophile. So here are the sort of over-the-shoulder bags. This is the Slim, and this is the Snap. Now, of course, the Slim here has the beautiful embroidered logo on it for the DJ Hookup, but you could get either of these embroidered. So yeah, the Snap is a little bit smaller, as you can see here. Not by a ton, but if you put them together, you can see there is a little bit of difference there. And part of that is because the Slim here is a double compartment here, 2 zippers, right? Whereas this Snap is a single compartment job. Other than that, they're fairly similar, but they do have some slight differences, so we'll go ahead and open them up, take a look at them. Now, it's important to note that the Jetpack Snap is meant to be part of the systems that they offer for the rolling bag. So the glide system and the drop system can be used with the Snap by sliding into the front pocket there, kind of like a little kangaroo, and then there's a little belt and it snaps together. In my testing, that would actually work fine with the Slim as well, but you get a discount if you buy them together, the Snap and one of the roller bags. So you get it a little cheaper if you buy it as part of a roller set. But in any case, let's go ahead and open these up. Fairly similar at first glance, okay? Right here, the major difference you're going to see is over here on the Snap, we've got the laptop pocket right here exposed as soon as you open it. Here on the Slim, that's a separate pocket. But in here, you know, you've got the bright orange lighting, makes it easy to see in a dark nightclub. That's really nice. Got the little strap to hold your laptop in, keep it safe. Fits in there perfectly, no problems. Little place to keep business cards and contacts, things like that. A little pocket here, you could maybe use that to keep an Apple AirTag, something like that. A couple slots for pens, and then a little netted pocket here. Maybe you could keep your power adapters and things in there. A little bit more of the storage situation going on over here because this is, again, a second compartment. So here we've got some nice chunky pouches here. We've got a headphones pouch, and what I really like about how they do the headphones pouches, they've got this kind of like overlapping system here to where you stick the cans in the bottom here, and then you put the strap under the top part, and then it velcros together, and you never really have to worry about that coming out. Same thing over here, same kind of setup. These pouches are actually really deep. You know, you could use these to keep all your extra cables for your headphones or things like that, extra XLRs if you need a little transmitter, wireless transmitter for your microphones or headphones, anything like that. A microphone, you could stick a whole microphone in there, no problem. That's about where the storage options for the Snap end, except for there is a spot under all this here where you can kind of undo this double zipper, and then there's Velcro. You open that up. Just a little flat storage. You could keep some papers, checks, hide something back there, maybe a payment for your gig, contracts, whatever you need to keep back there. And then nobody will really ever know that they're back there because they're kind of hidden behind that pouch, right? So over here on the Slim, again, same kind of thing. Got these really large pouches here you could use to keep extra adapters, things that you need.
Now these are Jetpack boosters. Now they don't come with the bag, but they are an accessory sold by Jetpack. These are little rubber pucks that fit under the feet of your favorite DJ gear to raise its height. So for example, to bring a DJ controller up to the height of your CDJs or turntables. Pretty nifty.
Same kind of stuff here on the other side. You've got that same kind of document storage, hidden compartment under here. You can keep stuff. Really just great little pouches here. Maybe you need a spot for your USB hub, you know, things like that. Spots for your pens, spots for your business cards, you know, extra cables. You've got extra room for all that stuff. Second compartment. Here's your laptop storage, right? And this opens to 180 degrees, right? This is meant to be TSA friendly, so if you're taking these things on flights, they both open really wide like that. They can see the laptop immediately, no problem. Here's a big old 17-inch laptop in here. This thing's old, I don't know if it even boots, but you get the idea. Fits in there, no problem. Stays secure. Feels fairly protected. I like that they put this at the back, you know, it's putting your chest and the rest of the bag between, you know, in the laptop. A little extra document storage here, and then actually in the Slim you get storage for vinyl records. So you might use these to keep time code if you're a DVS DJ, if you use, you know, turntables with your setup. 2 slots for vinyl there. You can't really put them with the sleeve in there, but you know, this lining is not going to hurt your records, so it does keep them pretty nice and, you know, tight in there. Now both the Slim and the Snap have kind of like little secret compartments too. So on the smaller one, the Snap here, you have this, I think they call it a passport pocket. And you could actually put a pretty large something or other in there, presumably a passport, but maybe even your wallet or, you know, flyers for an event, something like that. It's kind of like a large wallet right there. And then you can see here how I've got these straps tucked into the back of the backpack here. This is the pass-through so that you could use it with like regular luggage and stick it on the carrying rail and roll it around. But you can also, you know, tuck these in if you're just wanting to carry this around. Over here, we have this little secret stash right here on top. It's not really secret, you can see it, but it's just a nice little pocket, you know, maybe you got a lighter in there, I don't know. Apple AirTag, USB drives, piece of candy, whatever you got in there. Just a nice little extra spot to keep a little bonus thing that maybe you really want to be able to grab it first thing. USB key would be obvious choice here. So the backpacks are of, fairly similar build and quality. I would say I prefer the sort of finish on the front of the Slim more than the Snap. I feel like this will kind of gather marks over time, but again, this is meant to easily slide into those roller systems, and so that's part of why you have this really smooth texture here, whereas this is maybe a little bit more rugged. Again, you can get the logo on either of these. This Snap only comes in black. You can actually get the Slim in this awesome gray, which I really like. I think this is how I would actually get it. This with the Passionate DJ logo would be pretty sick. The Jetpack Slim is also available in a camo finish, which I don't have here, but here's what the finish would look like. It would be this sort of pattern on this bag.
So in comparing these over-the-shoulder backpacks, the important thing to consider is price. The Jetpack Slim comes in at $149.99, and the Snap comes in at $119.99. However, when purchased as part of one of the roller bag systems, either the Drop or Glide, the Snap ends up only being $100 extra. Now if carrying timecode records is important to you, or you want a tougher material that will last longer, or you want more finish options like gray or camo, then choose the Slim. If you want the best bargain, or you want the thinnest and lightest weight bag you can get to safely carry your laptop in, then choose the Snap.
Now we're going to talk about what I call the standing backpacks. Now here in front of me I have the Jetpack Prime and the Jetpack Remix. And then there's also a Jetpack XL, which is really big, a little bigger than the Prime. I don't have that in front of me today, but we'll talk about that and make some conclusions based on what we learn here. This is obviously the one that I chose, the Remix, because it's got my logo on it here, but you could get either of these with the beautiful embroidery on it. So let's take a look at the Prime here, and one thing you'll notice is, well, obviously it's just bigger, like quite a bit bigger than the Remix actually, quite a bit heavier too. So that's something to bear in mind, and that was one reason that I decided to get the Remix. I wanted something a little bit bigger than the over-the-shoulder bags and something that would stand tall on its own. But this is just a little bit much for me, and I don't really need to carry as much as this thing really supports. This thing is actually pretty wild. So let's take a look in the front compartment here. Once again, you'll see some themes from the other stuff we've looked at. The bright orange interior, so you can see it in a dark, dim environment. The front flap here does open, fully flat, which is nice. Now here on this front part here, you've got once again, a place for a business card. Another little pocket here you could keep stuff in, little lanyards, anything like that. Little zipper pocket down here. You could use this to keep some stickers or flyers or anything like that in. And then, just like the other backpacks, you have the little compartment here where you could keep documents safe, flat, free from wrinkles. I like the idea of keeping a folder in here, and it just keeps everything nice and safe. If you got contracts, anything like that, and keep that stuff in there. Now, here we have a place to keep a piece of hardware, like a smaller hardware mixer, maybe like a modular controller like this one. This is what I've used it for, right? And it's just like an extra place to keep. So if you have like a modular controller that you use with your setup, or you're a scratch DJ and you have like a DJM-S something that you insist on carrying with you, or a rain mixer, whatever it is, you can put that right in here and just bring it with you to your show, competition, whatever it is. Now, I did try to put a 4-channel mixer in here, and that didn't work so well. Side pockets, that's something that's different between the Prime. The Remix over here does not have those, okay? So if we open those up, we could use that for, anything that you want quick access to, essentials, snacks, never leave home without it. Other side over here, maybe this is where you keep your laptop power adapter or anything like that. It's nice to have that on the side there. Anything that maybe you don't want to get smashed or crushed or something like that could also go out there if you're worried about kind of trying to cram it into this middle compartment, because as you'll see, the middle compartment on this thing is a little bit cumbersome, and this is what really made me decide on the Remix versus the Prime. The Prime is more versatile for sure because it's bigger, it's got more stuff. This middle piece, you know, it doesn't open to 180 degrees, of course. In fact, it only opens about that wide. It opens at this sort of strange angle here, and you can see this is about as wide as it gets, right? Which is okay, but it's a little bit difficult, for me to film for you, but also to just kind of like get in here and mess around. So when you're in the club, you really want to know where stuff's at in here because you don't want to like open it any wider than this. But this is where your laptop pocket is, right? Again, nice little pouch here. You could keep snacks or extra wires or anything in there. And then below, you have these pouches in here, which again, you could use to keep a microphone, any little transmitters or boxes or anything like that that you need to keep safe. And then on the other side, you have this series of like netted pockets. And once again, you have the headphones netting that you saw before with the little double overlapping netting there, and then there's 4 pockets below, and it's hard for me to show you, but you could store actually it looks like there's 5 of them, and you could store any little knickknacks, wires, things that you need to keep organized in there. We also have the very back, and this is even tougher to get into. So you do have, once again, 4 slots for vinyl in here. So if you want to keep time code in here for 4 turntables or for multiple DVS systems, or I guess your 4 favorite records, you could put those in there. And then on the other side, there's this little pouch thing here with a strap, and you could use that to, I wouldn't really, it's not big enough for like an iPad, or except maybe like an iPad mini or something, but you could use it if you got anything that needs little remote controls or dongles or doohickeys, you could store those in there. So again, lots going on with the Prime, but that's what this is about. If you're the kind of DJ who needs to carry like all sorts of stuff with you, you have a particular hardware mixer that's like key to your workflow or key to your scratch mixes, or you need to bring like an extra modular controller with you everywhere that you go. This is just really going to work for you. If you're that kind of DJ, but you want to do everything in one trip, right? You want to go from the car to the gig, and everything's going to be in here. The Remix is the same but different, right? It's kind of like a more svelte version of the Prime, right? Now, like the Prime, the front flap does open fully wide like that. In fact, it opens like 180 degrees. I love that, right? Easy to get into all this stuff right here. You can see everything that's going on. 4 slots for pens, which like I don't know why you need 4 pens, but let's be honest, some of you are going to put your vape pens or other things in there. You've got your spot for business cards, nice little pouch here where you could put air tags, stuff like that. And then just an elastic pouch here, some netting below. I've got some snacks in there, some treats. And then on the other side is where you'll find that little protective document pouch, just like all the other bags we've looked at. Middle zipper. Now you'll see it doesn't open 180 degrees. It doesn't go flat like the TSA friendly backpacks that we talked about earlier, but it does open wider. Stuff is more accessible than the Prime, which is what I like about it. Again, you've got your double netted headphone setup, just like all the other ones we've talked about before. And this is also where your laptop pouches. It's all in this center compartment. You've got 4 little pouches down here. You could use that to keep, you know, all your extra cables, pack of gum, whatever you got, USB stuff. And then over here you've got your pouches, just like the other ones. You maybe got a USB hub that's part of your setup. Microphones, again. Nice little spot up here. You could keep a couple of small flyers or stickers, something like that. And then of course the actual laptop slot here in the middle. Finally, the last zipper here. And the back opens almost flat, right? It does pretty good. So this is what I like about the Remix, is each compartment is very accessible. Again, you've got your 4 vinyl record spots here. So if you need that for time code or other records, it's there for you. Nice little pouch here. You could keep a couple of flyers, documents, fruit snacks, whatever you got. And then there's this sort of extra pouch over here. This is actually great for a tablet, I noticed, like an iPad. So that's what I've got in here right now. You could use it for other things, maybe a very small, thin controller, but I don't know, I think it's more appropriate for a tablet. You might think that it's weird, right? That like what DJ is going to need a tablet and a laptop and records. Some DJs bring lighting with them and they might use an iPad to control their lighting, or they use it to control, you know, some sampler trigger pads over here, something like that, and they want to store both. Like this will support all of that, right? As a sort of like laptop bag plus, this is perfect for my needs, but whereas the Prime here would be perfect for somebody who just really needs to bring a ton of stuff to every gig. Now that's even doubly so for the XL, right? It's going to be more expensive than these, it's going to be bulkier than these, and it's going to be heavier than these.
The XL and Prime have side pockets where the Remix does not. The XL also has this double front stash and passport pocket. The Prime has a small stash pocket, but there's no such feature on the Remix. You also get a double laptop slot on the XL in case your setup requires two for some reason. The XL also has extra foam padding, reinforced handles, and is all around just a tougher bag. Now choose the Remix like I did if you want a standing bag, but just barely, and you don't need a zillion places to stash items. Now choose the Prime if you do need to carry a laptop and a mixer or a small controller and want to do it all in one trip. And get the XL if, well, you know, if you need something that large, you probably already know to get the XL.
They have considered, you know, hey, these kind of bags are going to be full of a lot of stuff. They're going to be heavy. And so what they've done is they've added something I found to be very important, and that's this little chest strap here. Now, I have a medical condition that's called Chiari malformation, and it basically is just problems with my upper spine. And keeping strain off of my neck and shoulders is really important. So when I put this on, any of these standing bags, I can put the chest strap across here, and then it helps take the weight off of this part of my spine here, which is really important to me. So I appreciate that on the entire line of these bags. All right, so let's talk about the rollers. This is the drop, and this is the glide. Obviously, this is for larger format, all-in-ones, big 4-channel DJ controllers. When you need to bring the whole thing with you, this is the kind of thing that you need, and you don't want to strain your back. You want to be able to take it from your vehicle, roll it around. That's what this is for. The drop is more like a companion that you would want to use to carry your standalone DJ mixer, hardware mixer, possibly combine it with a laptop or some other controllers like that, but this is kind of like a rolling mixer case, is really the intent here. These are roller systems that are meant to combine with the snap. So if we open this little front kangaroo pocket here like this, theoretically you would have your laptop and all your other goodies like that in here, and it would just kind of go in that little front pocket. And then in here is a little strap with a buckle, and it goes right through the handle here and, you know, keeps it all together in one piece. You can tighten that, and then you kind of have everything in one package. Of course, you can buy just the roller bags on their own, that's fine. But really, if you don't have the snap bag, you could easily put something else in here. You just need to be careful because it's not exactly protected up here. These sides are really thin. It's kind of meant to be used with that backpack because it provides some extra padding there. The drop opens from the top like this. Makes it easy for you to drop in a hardware mixer, something like that, right? But what if the mixer that you have is a long boy, longer than this, right? Well, this bag actually has a trick where you undo this bottom zipper, and then it does this little extendo thing. It kind of accordions out. Here, let me close the top so you can see it better. And now it's this big, so you can actually fit quite a long mixer in here if you really wanted to. Both bags have these rollerblade style wheels on them, perfectly smooth as you would expect. Both bags have these convenient handles both on the front, on the sides here, on the top. So no matter where you're trying to grab it, if you're actually trying to pick it up, lift it into a vehicle, something like that, you've got options all over the place. And then of course, the actual rolling carrying handle right there where you can roll it around. Then you've got these hard feet on the bottom so you can lay it flat. Don't really have that same exact thing on the drop, but most of the time this is probably going to be sitting upright even when you're taking the mixer out of it. But again, you have the same kind of thing on the front of the glide system here, where you open the front. It's got what I'm calling the kangaroo pocket up here. Put your snap backpack right in there. That's got your laptop and all its goodies in there. And then it's all part of one rolling bag system. So let's look inside the drop here. And you'll see I've got a mixer in here, and this is sort of the extra fluff here that comes from not using that extended like accordion thing. It just provides a little bit of extra, protection there, so that's cool. I'm just going to stick it upright, and you can see I can take the mixer out right here, no problem. Now in here is actually a divider that you can adjust, and so I've used it to actually put another small modular controller in here. You've got our XP2 here again. But you could also, really, if you wanted to, put a laptop in there. That would work fine on that other side of the divider. You could just take it out entirely. It just Velcros in on the sides like that, and you can decide how divided this bag is. All the way at the bottom, you're going to see this little, like a soft box down there. This is a kind of a neat little thing. This is a little kind of accessories box. You could use this to keep all your wires and all that stuff. It's got this little foam protector at the bottom to keep things nice, but you could, stash all your things in here and then cover that up, or you could turn it upside down. You could keep kind of whatever you want in there. In fact, one of the things they show on the website is maybe you need to keep an extra pair of shoes in there. So nothing says you couldn't do that. Maybe stuff it in there upside down, something like that. Put your mixer on top of it. Who knows? Whatever you need. You could keep flashlights, microphones, whatever you need in this accessories box, or just simply use it as a riser to keep your mixer nice and protected. Alright, so let's have a closer look at the Jetpack Glide. Once again, same thing as before. Kangaroo pocket works with the snap. Creates a complete system. There's not really a place to hold your laptop in the bag itself, so it's really meant to be used with the snap backpack if you're going to do that. Now, as before, we've got the bright orange interior in here, but really things are actually much simpler overall. This is really just meant to carry a large format mixer controller thingy. It comes with this foam pad and this strap to cover the top, because really the point here is to be compatible with any of these larger controllers, right? Whether you're using an old Control S8 like this, a DDJ 1000 or a Flex 10 or Groove 6 or whatever you've got, they want to make sure that this is going to fit for you, right? So you can see this fits perfectly in here because I've got these little foam bumpers in here, and they're kind of fitted around the Control S8 to make sure that it's nice and snug in there. Then all I have to do is pop this guy over the top, and then we're ready to go, right? So there's all these foam bumpers of various size that you can put in here and wedge around here, and they all have these little Velcro backings that stick to the sides, and so you can make it basically like the next best thing to a custom cut thing. It would be really expensive to have a bespoke one for every kind of controller. This makes it kind of work with everything. Now there is something worth noting. If you look here at this little sign, this side up is what you want to use for a controller with no feet. There's what it looks like completely empty. And then we can take this bottom part out and flip it around, and you can see there's actually indents on either side here. So if you have maybe like a rain controller or something like that that's got feet on it, then this will help keep it even, keep it from sticking up, right? So it's nice that this is perfectly configurable for basically anything that's on the market for DJs. So a couple of things about these rollers. First thing that you want to know, if you want to get custom logos, you can't do that on these roller bags. They don't offer that, at least currently, as a service. However, being that these are meant to be part of the system, that you get with a snap backpack. You could always get the backpack with your logo on it and keep it with the bag and still have that option. This is the roller bag that you want basically to be carrying around a hardware mixer. This is to be carrying around like a large format 4-channel standalone DJ system or DJ controller. They both support adding the backpack, right, so that you can bring your laptop and other things that you need with it as one complete system. So it's a little bit modular in that way. This one is laptop overhead compartment friendly, and this one is not. This is too large. This cannot be a carry-on. This is not a flight case, right? So this is nice and it's sturdy and it's tough, but it's not meant to be thrown around, tossed into the cargo hold of an airplane, anything like that. This is for gigging around, not for tossing in a cargo hold. You might want to invest in actual hard flight cases if that's what you're going to be doing, is traveling around with them across the country or across nations. All right, so headphones bags. Now, Jetpack calls their line of headphones bags Deloop, and here we have the Deloop Sport, and here we have the Deloop Deluxe. They also have one called the Deloop Audiophile. The Deluxe are just a much nicer material. These are made out of leather, whereas these are more of a, I don't know, composite nylon something or other. I'll put it here on the screen, but basically these you can get in different patterns like camo, black. These come in different styles, like you have this leather bag and then you have this leather quilted bag, which is actually really nice, surprisingly so. And then the Deloop Audiophile is basically just a bigger version of these. And the reason they call it the Audiophile is because some upper end headphones might come with a DAC, a digital analog converter or something, some little box that it needs to come with and other accessories. It's just a little bit bigger to make room for that stuff. If you're a DJ, which you are, you might want to consider the Audiophile just to stuff extra things in it. Strap where you can put it over your shoulder, and then basically inside here you just have a little net where you can put your headphones. They'll fit in right there. A little strap there if you want. You can put around the headphones band to keep it in place. And then it's just contained and protected right there. Now on this side, you've got room for a couple of other things, kind of the same stuff we talked about before, maybe an Apple AirTag, maybe some business cards in here. And that's about all you've got on the Sport here. You can connect the optional strap here, and then you've just got a nice little protective carrying case for your headphones. Again, we got the camo pattern here. Each one of these has a little pass-through for cables right here. There's a little USB symbol there. Maybe you have wireless headphones and you want to charge them inside the case. There's a little pass-through right there. It actually has a waterproof zipper. It's kind of got like a rubber coating around it and keeps water from getting in there, which is cool. And then we have, of course, an extra side pocket here with that signature orange lining in there. Again, the Deluxe is basically the same thing, just fancier. Cool materials. I really like this quilted one. I like how the quilted pattern goes down the bottom there, and then you have that pocket there. Really great stuff. Now I want to mention another item, and that's the Jetpack Pulse. And this exists somewhere between those over-the-shoulder backpacks we talked about and those headphones bags. It's got like a single strap situation here. You can choose which side you want to put it on, kind of sling it over the shoulder like that. Let's say you're a DJ who you use a Pioneer setup and you just bring USB drives to a gig and headphones. One of these would be fine, but maybe you just carry a couple extra things. You want to be able to toss your smartphone in there and whatever's in your pockets and your wallet. You've got an extra pocket here around the back, an extra pocket here around the front. So it just gives you like headphones bag plus, right? You just got a little bit of extra stuff. A little sticker in there. Bright orange so you can see in the club once again. A little extra hidden pocket there. You could store stuff in or keep your phone in or whatever you want. And then on the inside you have some of those similar compartments that we saw in the larger bag. We've got a smaller little pocket there. You could keep a large phone or small tablet or something like that in, small electronics. A little pouch that you could probably keep an Apple AirTag in. A little pouch that you could keep small accessories in. And then maybe something up here for flyers, a snack, something like that. Just a little bit of extra storage for, you know, somebody who wants to sling something over the shoulder, carry a little bit more than their headphones, but you're not bringing a laptop to a gig, this is the perfect little side piece.
So now that you know all the nitty-gritty details of all these bags, let's summarize the entire line. Now for DJs who only bring headphones, USB drives, and little else to a gig, the Deloop line of headphones bags is a wonderfully stylish way to show up at a gig. Choose the Sport for toughness and value, the Deluxe for its fashion sense, or the Audiophile if you just need a little more room. Only the Sport is available in multiple finish types. The Jetpack Pulse is a sort of in-between option. It doesn't let you hold a laptop, but you could hold your headphones and a bunch of goodies in a more traditional over-the-shoulder style. Get this if you like it better than the handbag style of the Deloop. If what you need to carry to a gig is your laptop, headphones, and a basic set of cables and adapters, the Jetpack Slim or Snap will cover your needs. The Slim is a nicer bag. It's covered in nicer materials and has a separate laptop compartment. But the Snap is extremely lightweight. When bought as part of a drop or glide system, it's also a $50 savings over a Slim. Laptop DJs who find themselves bringing more items on the road might opt for a larger standing backpack or a roller. Now all of the standing bags have 4 vinyl slots, chest straps to reduce strain, air mesh construction, a pass-through trolley sleeve, and rubber feet. They're available in black only. Now the biggest consideration between these might be your own health. You see, the Jetpack XL carries a ton of stuff, but it weighs almost 9 pounds before you put anything in it. So I think the XL is more of a specialized choice rather than a practical option for most DJs. If you need to bring 2 laptops and a scratch mixer and a small controller plus a bunch of accessories to a gig without making multiple trips to a car, then yes, it may be your only choice. Now the Prime or the XL will easily support any 2-channel mixer and perhaps even some of the smaller 4-channel ones, but so will the Jetpack Drop. So if you want to bring a laptop and a scratch mixer to a gig, maybe it makes sense for you to roll it in with a Jetpack Drop and Snap combo rather than to lug it in on your back. If you're bringing a large 4-channel DJ controller or standalone system to a gig, the Jetpack Glide is basically your only choice. Getting this with a Snap for an extra $100 is practically a no-brainer, assuming you use a laptop, and all the various carrying handles will make it easy to put in and out of your vehicle. Both rolling bags have telescoping handles, rollerblade wheels, reinforced handles, and a front pouch for that Snap backpack. They're available in black and without embroidery, though you can get that done on the backpacks instead.
And there you have it, folks. That is basically the entire line of Jetpack bags. I hope that's helped you kind of fine-tune your decision on what bag might be the right one for you and your style of DJing. And of course, as always, you can get yours at thedjhookup.com, submit your own custom logo, and go rock this thing. I really like all of these bags. I think that this is a great company. I think they're doing some cool stuff. I think it is important to bear in mind that none of these things, again, are flight cases. They're not meant to be like super protective in that way where you can just, you know, toss it on the UPS truck or an airplane and not worry about it. But for everything else, it's pretty stout. Everything's well padded, everything's well built. I can tell that they're gonna last for years to come, and I'm really happy with that. So with all that said, I hope this has been helpful. Thank you guys so much, and as always, keep on spinning.